Hello.
Oh,
I tried it.
I know you
Didn't
tried
like it.
Did it feel good?
Ugh,
Did you
felt
get a
terrible.
tingle?
No. A dork tingle.
We are doing Significant Others.
Oh. Look at that. You just jumping right into
I am going to jump
the
right.
title.
Well, I mean, is there what is going on? How are you? How's life?
It's good.
Well, this has been a wild couple weeks for me. I had a colonoscopy.
Love.
And went well. I wanted to see getting put under the anesthesia. Mm-hmm. You know how like you try to I don't know what you used to do, but you try to stay awake or whatever else.
Wait, what?
Well, I always wanted to like beat it, like to see if like you could not fall asleep. Like you got to give me more, like I don't know, or just be present enough to
Not
remember
the time for that.
Remember when you fell asleep. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times you're just like, the last thing I remember was being wheeled in the room. I don't even remember being administered yet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I was in the room, and then I focused on this one thing on the corner of this monitor. Just like the name of the monitor, I clearly didn't focus that well because I don't remember what it said. But it was just this thing, and then he gives it to me, and he goes, "All right, you got." You know how they ask you to count backwards from 10 or whatever. And he's like, in 10 seconds, you got it. And then nothing was happening. And I was just like, I want to remember. And I remember I went, oh, here I go. Because it like warmed up your whole body. And then I woke up. And anesthesia doesn't really, people talk crazy, like all those videos where they say funny shit and all that. It doesn't do that to me. I just woke up and the nurse is like, oh, shit. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm ready. She's like, how you feel? And I was like, good, I'm ready to go. Obviously, you need a driver. So I had a driver, but I was like, do I have to, don't I have to wait around to like fart, right? Yeah, you have to let all that, because they basically pump you full of air to do it. And I was like, so do I got to wait around for that? And she's like, oh, you've been farting the entire time, sir. And then I got hernia surgery coming up.
Oh, right.
Another second hernia surgery, umbilical surgery. Mm-hmm. I haven't spent this much time in the hospital in a long time. I never go. And then,
Cut your finger really badly. You should be going to the hospital for that, but we've used up too many of our hospital vouchers.
Exactly. But that's, I don't know. That's about it.
I'm excited for a colonoscopy myself, so I'm glad you did it.
Are you getting one? Did women get them? Are they a women thing?
Brendan, are you serious?
I guess
are
it's
you
not
really
a prostate
wondering
exam.
whether colonoscopy is also a woman thing? We have the same butthole and digestive.
I guess so.
Brendan.
I know, but it just feels like I never hear of women having colonoscopies.
Well,
because they're
probably
not going to talk to me about their butthole.
And you don't, once a woman's a certain age, you don't hear her, or see her. You have to be
I did
45.
have a little something in there that they removed though.
Oh,
because my family has a history. It was 2 millimeter.
2 millimeter.
It was a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Gumball? What was it?
Because my family has a history of colon cancer, so I was like, oh, I think now's the time. So.
But don't you have to go at 45?
Yeah, but I asked for the full physical, remember? The 2 fingers?
Right. Right.
And then they said no, but now I was just like, I'm gonna get this done now. So
yeah, David's gone, and I want to go now too. I'm 44, so I have a year.
Yeah, it's good to do. Preventative care, maintenance.
I'm gonna ask them to do it while I'm awake. Cut those polyps out while I'm awake.
Oh, good. Yeah, and they give you, like on the review, the paperwork at the end. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's a camera up there, so they give you a view of like the polyp they cut out. Mm-hmm. But then they gave me just a view of like what they stuck in my butthole. They're like just a straight butthole shot. I guess just to prove like this is what we put in there so that you can't be accused of anything. But I just got a straight butthole shot.
We must share this with the pod. This is where we cut in a picture right now over our faces of your butthole.
No, I was like, oh, that is aggressive.
What'd you think of your butthole?
I didn't really look that long. And,
Not a big butthole guy.
It looked, I will say, it looked greasy because, they got to lube it up.
Good.
Yeah.
It means it was treated right.
Yeah. So anyways.
It'd be terrible if it looked dry. Dry and flaky.
A lot of butthole talk on this podcast.
Yeah. What are you going to do,
Okay.
Everybody's got one. Even women.
Yeah. Significant others. Speaking of buttholes.
That's my
I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? Is there anything else that's gone
I've got nothing.
on through your week?
No, nothing like that. That can't be beat.
Hi, I'm Brendan Fair.
And I'm Majandra Delfino. A decade or two ago,
Closer to 3, really.
a while back, we starred in the cult hit WB show Roswell.
And while we are in fact ex-co-stars, we are also actual exes. In real life.
Boyfriend and girlfriend exes.
Unnecessary clarification. But welcome to the X-Files, where we analyze all things Roswell. Episodes, co-stars, guest stars, and all the goings-on in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
In our probe, we may or may not agree, we may or may not get along, but if our history is any indication, we will most certainly dig up old stuff from the past and throw down. With guests, old and new, weighing in on who was right and who was wrong.
Oh, if we remember it, we're gonna talk about it.
And if we don't remember, it's all good, because I kept my teenage diary to cross-reference, corroborate, confirm.
Wait, what?
Correct. So be prepared to pick a side.
Your actual diary, like, for real.
Having a change of heart?
More like a change of underwear.
Welcome
To the X-Files.
Original air date October 22nd, 2001. Written by David Simpkins. Directed by Patrick Norris. Another Norris one. We don't actually pick Norris on we pick it according to the guest. Mm-hmm. My allergies, they're getting better though. I'm at the end of my 2-week allergy cycle. John Doe, Garrett Brown, Mary Ellen Trainor, Diane Evans, Joe Anderson is Nancy Parker. Liz's mom. Mm-hmm. She always reminded me of Julianne Moore.
Of course.
And I liked her, but I
mean, we can get to that because I've got some stuff to say.
Oh, okay.
No, meaning I have like 2 sentences on her, but
Michael Chifo, Mr. Seligman, yeah. Colin Hanks, Alex Whitman, obviously, Yvonne Cole, Estelle. Okay, whatever. And then my security gang. I know it was too long. And then my security
Your
gang.
Security gang. That was
Pena,
a shock.
Steve Oy, Martin Starr, Earl Portier. Isabel calls upon Alex for advice on her relationship with Jesse. Meanwhile, Liz discovers more about her father's past, and Michael double books himself on date night. Speaking of buttholes. My notes are on, because I was busy this weekend. I did watch it, but my notes were on my voice memo phone, which isn't really going to be kind of doable to listen back to, and I didn't get a chance to transfer them over to notes, but I do remember it.
Oh, good. And I'm sure when I say stuff, it'll jog
most things
the old
are,
memory.
Yeah, most things are still in my head.
Okay, well, my first note is Paris. Yikes. Can you elaborate?
Yeah.
Meaning, this was we are in the 3rd season. Suits have taken their hands in and mangled as much as they possibly can. This felt like a crazy episode, and it started right out of the gate.
It felt cheesy.
Paris.
Hold on. I wonder if let me see if this would.
How do I just pause this? Steamy intro to significant others, Katie and Jesse Wild. Also have to follow up the death of Alex. Like, don't set him up like that if you want him to succeed. It's so tough.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it hurt. I don't like the way they shot these dream walk sequences. They all look so fucking cheesy.
I know.
And I love you, Norris, but I don't know. There's just a better way.
No, I don't even think that's Norris's fault.
Yeah.
Like, you are in the handcuffs of... But yeah, I loved, personal huge vindication for me when Isabel says, and, oh God, what was the cute guy with the poofy lips and the brows that just died? Sorensen. She goes, and Sorensen died because he got killed by that ridiculous alien jellyfish thing.
Yes, she does say that.
And
Yep.
I said, that's right. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And I think it was I think they realized that. What is going on here? But
Realize that they probably just had to go with it. And the whole time we're like, oh.
right.
Anyway, I'm going to let that go. Speaking of alien jellyfish,
I don't know.
Brendan, the lettuce is really, okay, there you go.
Electric lettuce.
Electric lettuce. It's electric. Then I wrote, sorry.
No, you go.
That made me laugh. My next note just says, God, Max really doesn't want to live with Liz. I always look at things through the lens of just the boyfriend that's like, it'll be too expensive. It just, every single thing she had a reason for, he shot down. I found that to be very funny and very true to life.
Yeah. Why are are we still on the Alex? Why are they broken up? Or not on the Alex? Is this still...
John
she
Doe.
cheated with Kyle? They robbed the liquor store.
John Doe does not want Max. Max is now a bad boy in the mind of... Boing.
I know. Okay. I'm leaving it alone.
In the mind of Mr. Parker. Yeah, Max is persona non grata. And he's living with Michael. And, he's just
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, me either. But then I did. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, Liz wants to live with Max, and Max really didn't want that.
Yeah, Max and Liz are in Busted, the season or episode 1 of season 3. Max and Liz are arrested for armed robbery in Utah. What are they doing in Utah? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. We'll get to that later. But yeah, this whole, they got a real vibe going. I know it's later on, but this black jacket, the mascara, eyeliner on Liz, looks like some sort of gang or something, or it's really not in there. I mean, they look good. It's well fitted and all that stuff. They look gorgeous, but I was just like, these aren't the Max and Liz. Don't turn them into the bad girl and bad boy. What are we doing?
Yes.
But yeah, setting up, Jesse Ramirez, played by Adam Rodriguez, is introduced to this, and obviously him and Isabel are having this steamy love affair. And I loved seeing Colin again, but and I love it that it's Isabel moving on. I like the idea of it, but it didn't hit for me. Like Colin's being there wasn't as impactful as it should have been, or Alex's, for some reason to me. I felt it could have been something kind of bigger and more impactful.
Yeah. No, it was
kind of fell flat. Mm-hmm. And then to set, that was my note from my voice, then, if we want us to like Jesse, to put him opposite Alex isn't the way to do that. Right. Because Alex is so beloved. It's let's not kill him again. Yeah. Right. When Isabel breaks up with Jesse for the greater good and then shows up at Kyle's house crying, yeah. I wrote men pick up on only 70% of facial expressions because it was so clear she was crying.
And he was like, what do you want? Do you want water? Like, what? It was so funny to me. I do love their dynamic. So that was the payoff. But it was just very funny that clearly she's in distress.
And Kyle's such a weird go-to for her.
I know.
Well, it's funny because in that exchange, she says, I broke up with Jesse or something like that. And then Kyle's like, ooh. Like, almost like, oh, there's a chance to go out with Isabel in a way.
Right.
And then she sits down on the couch and then, there's a moment where she starts crying and he's like, okay, I got to actually be honest about giving, some sound advice or having a conversation, not try to hit on the damsel in distress. But I did get a sense of like, he was, they might have set that up in some way.
Yeah.
Like Kyle maybe, had a chance, but then obviously she gets, a teenage bride.
Yep. As one should. My next note says Liz's parent / mom. Who knew? And I said, that is a hands-off mom, queen. I mean, what a hands-off mom. She's barely, we always see the dad when we have to see a Liz parent. Mm-hmm. We're just seeing her. Like, where you been?
Where has she been?
And like, is Liz adopted? These two parents look nothing like Liz. It was just wild. And then I wrote, Maria really comes in with heat regarding Michael missing the lunch. And I said, that's also the kind of kid I was. I was a dropout, a high school dropout, and I would go meet up with my friends and have lunch through school. And I guess that's what you were supposed to do. But yeah, I wrote full phoning in of a damsel in distress. I am not comfortable with that level of vulnerability. That like Maria, like, I just want you to,
I thought it was good. It was, I had a good, it made me smile to see Michael smile like that. And I remember, we've had the conversation of how much I hate my teeth. And to do that when I enter the diner with all the guys, I was kind of unabashed about it. And I quite liked it. I was proud of myself where he's going for it. Because I had to show me having fun with them and not you. But.
I wrote, ew, they're already scheduling date nights. And then I wrote sex nights, wash your sheets, ?
Yeah, this is the wash your sheets episode.
Just like, how is their relationship that boring already? But okay. And then I wrote, he pats me on the back after kissing me. Patronizing.
Well, I know.
I know. Oh, by the way, then I wrote as Luke, my son walked in right during that, was very confused. He was like, wait, because Michael sees the Post-it that says that he has bowling on the night that he promised Maria the date. And my son said, I'm so confused. Like, what's the problem? I said, he's got bowling or this date. He's double booked. And he said, oh, I would have chosen the girlfriend. But dead serious, of course. And I wrote, this is clearly my child. Love above all else. Romantic love above all else. He was like, what's the issue?
Yeah, I mean, how late are we bowling? What is bowling league? I mean, I couldn't have taken an early dinner. I did. It was a fun little setup.
I love a person that tries to pull a couple things off at the same time.
Right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
They did it fairly well with the Ford Fusion. What is it? What's his last? Your blinkers out. What does he say over the?
Oh, yeah.
Intercom.
Yeah, that was. He's like the owner of the Ford Fiesta.
Yeah,
yeah.
And is that what I'm driving? Oh, well, it doesn't have to be that I'm driving that. That's just a code, I guess.
Right.
But that was a real strike that I bowled.
I bet. I did right here. The old Brendan bowling moves.
I used to be pretty good. Is that the bowling alley where we did the?
I have no idea.
With Garrett Lerner for his son, where we raised money and we had the bowl-a-thon.
I have no clue because I don't remember that set.
Oh, okay. I think so.
I remember the bowl-a-thon though.
Maybe.
But yeah, you're bowling. You're a good bowler. I don't know what to tell you. But it was so great. I just love any opportunity with Michael and Kyle.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I love it. I'm like, please give these two a sitcom. Spin-off.
Yeah. Well, Kyle's just just that character and the way that Nick chose to play him. Is so easy to be like fun and awkward and weird and just more interesting. It just allowed you to do something outside. Even little small things outside relationships with other characters. I don't know. He was a real great person to react off and a great soundboard and to be able to get something a little different. So
yeah, you guys were little silly geese. I wrote Jason's lettuce is amazing. His hair. He got
it dyed. They dyed it.
And there was like a feathered situation. And then I wrote, wow, lost so much of my hair. I had put in like a ton of extensions that summer and had to take them out and really pay the price. And then it just says cottage cheese milkshake ? And then it just says not Maria bringing up suicide. It's true. It was very...
Yeah, because she's making the cottage cheese because Liz is out of it, making the cottage cheese. And then, yeah, I wrote, Mr. Parker's really worked up, hair akimbo, very punk. He was really, when he's like, get out of my... Yeah, it's just like not even having a conversation as an adult, but like really going...
Well, they already had, but...
Yeah.
But he was very John Doe of X with that hair, it like went... And then, I mean, Miss Ramirez, I'm glad that she looked nice.
She did look nice. She had the same haircut as Katie. She did.
When she came on, I thought, what Latin trope are they going to, I'm like, here we go. We're going to meet the housekeeper.
No, she's quite attractive lady.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see that. We were represented correctly. And I love that Jesse went to Harvard Law School.
I know, and ends up in Roswell. Does that happen?
When your parent, needs you. But I did like that he had the lay the cards on the table dinner pitch. I thought, okay, here we go. And then my next note is just, Michael just plays foosball all day. Excellent shirt, though. And it's true.
That was my date night shirt, right?
It's when you're playing foosball with Max.
Yeah, and I'm about to go on the date with you.
I guess.
Or do you come in?
No, Katie
does.
She comes in and says the whole
she
thing.
comes in and wants to tell Jesse, and we're just like, yeah. I'm into the episode guide here. The irks. Liz and Max really need to revisit their closets and explore color once more. The whole black thing is a tad stereotypical.
Robin just...
And what's with the wig in Liz's bedroom? I know.
They're into some sort of...
When Jesse... The whole... When Isabel, I know I'm cutting to the end here, but when Isabel, well, no, we can go back. When Isabel runs out of the restaurant after wanting to get married, and then Jesse going, oh, that was my mom's ring. No. And then saying, well, I will marry you. And then she's like, no. And then he leaves and she goes out into the park and follows him. Mm-hmm. And is like, yes, so I will marry you. I want to marry you. I would be like, you're unstable.
Well, like this you're a dick, You've never had great instincts for that. Yeah, you want someone like real slow and steady.
Well, the back and slow and steady with the back and forth is just. It was a lot, though. I would have been like, this is not the time to make this decision right now. But
Brendan, come on.
I thought it was a lot. I don't know.
No,
it was an
by
odd
the way,
episode
we're going to get married is insane. But I do think that getting back together, it would be an appropriate thing to be like, I'm sorry, like I do want to be with you. But yes, I imagine you would be like, you are unhinged. And then just like go fucking play foosball, I wrote. Foosball. By yourself, foosball. I didn't understand that relationship at all, which is fine.
Yeah, and why do we feel we have to keep it a secret just because he works for her dad?
Yeah, I think he's like older. But yeah, I mean, I guess that she did go through the natural progression of realizing she's going to lose him and he's even leaving and going to go to New York and all of that. And you realize, like, I actually do want to spend my life with you. But it's like, it's just that thing of, is it wanting what you can't have? And then it's going to get nice and complacent and boring. Who knows? But I loved her hair slicked back.
Yes, so did I. It was very Florence Pugh.
Oh, she looks fantastic. First of all, okay, fine. I love Florence Pugh, but like,
well, I don't know. Just what it reminded me of. Her.
I just love that that's your reference. Like Florence Pugh invented slicking your hair back.
No, but it just most recent. I don't know. I saw a look of Florence Pugh on Instagram, and
of course, stalking poor Florence.
Oh goodness gracious!
Run, Flo, run. But yeah, I said Katie with her hair slicked back is fantastic, and then I wrote Maria needs an older dude. Oh, you know why? Because like that, she's just so dissatisfied. Like she's not.
She handled it well. She was very mature.
She ended up handling it well, but just the way she dresses and the things that she expects, she's not the right vibe for Michael. It's a real hot take.
That is a
At
hot
least
take.
in that, like, she's going through a weird period where it's like she wants to put on, like, I don't know, she just is trying to do, she wants to be in that restaurant that Isabel's at with that kind of thing. It's just like, you gotta start liking the Pert Plus and wearing the cool 70s vintage stuff. Like that Maria was the one that works for Michael and the one that I prefer.
Well, this, you know, I know we say we got more sci-fi and crazier off the rails in season 3, and we haven't done a lot of them, but this episode it was, obviously it was, you know, Katie's and Alex's and significant others. It's just dealing with all the relationships.
Right.
But where are we? And I have to, and I'm speaking out of ignorance here, even though it was my own TV show, but that's what we do on this podcast. Where's the danger? Where's the sci-fi danger? What are we dealing with now besides simply letting in Jesse Ramirez on this possible thing? But there's a danger. Not enough. We've let other people.
Getting married and not telling someone something so huge, like, guess what? You're boning an alien.
Right. No, that is huge. But we need an A or a B plot story to have gone sci-fi then.
I think the danger is just the losing of the relationships, like Maria finally losing it. But no, it felt a little, you're right. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, really, because it's true. I can see how they tried to fit those.
Yeah. But it's like, are we setting something up? Have we just gotten past something and getting into something else? But this felt like it felt too soap opera-y, like where we lost the edge of the sci-fi alien thing. Even though it's in there, it is too relationship-y. Even though it was done well, like those, well, you know, some weren't having problems, whatever else. But I don't know. There's just no...
I've got a note that's really, really sticking out to me that I'd like to share.
Oh, please.
And it says, big acting, Michael winning.
Is that a slight?
No, I think it was appropriate. But, you know, I like to, whenever you have to do anything broad, I like to make it broader.
Majandra saw a little scene of a movie I had done, just a little snippet, and I was playing this character, and I thought I had done a good job. Something kind of, I thought I had done something a little, you know, not. I mean, it's fairly typical, but a different character with a different cadence, with a different, you know, than I usually do. I just didn't go in there, and I had glasses and my hair is a little different, and I showed her the clip, and her response was, "I was really broad."
And then I think I followed that up with real hammy.
Yeah, and it's like the least hammy. I wasn't
that's what I'm trying to
it.
say. Like, I don't think that you're. And I was actually complimenting you.
Oh,
I said,
real handy.
add it to
if
the
I
reel.
said that about your thighs, would that be a compliment?
Show your ability to do so many different things. I thought it was great. But yeah, I had to, of course, your winning was great. Michael winning was obviously, that was, it's such a payoff to see him be that happy and smiling. And
that's the one thing I did like, is it seems to, we haven't got into the security stuff yet a lot with those relationships. We haven't done a lot of those episodes. So they'll be fun to kind of see how he does befriend these people.
Right.
But to see him really, to be happy, and it was easy for me to be happy in those situations where, as in past episodes, I've said that it was always tough to show that side of him without feeling like I was kind of betraying the character, because they had to be real and authentic, and I wanted them to be. I didn't want them to happen all the time because then they kind of lost that. They lost the power. They lost the impact that they would have. But then to have it in this natural way, without something, some big dramatic moment, without it being kind of this milestone, but something really simple and normal, was nice to have him be a part of.
Agreed. Also, double booking is the cutest thing. It's the cutest thing. And I'm glad I was watching. I was on pins and needles. I was like, oh God, she's going to get so boy.
I know. I did not know how it was going to end.
Yeah. And to see her be like, I was like, oh, finally, this guy gets a break. And then I wrote, I'm so phoning it in.
Oh,
my acting was terrible. But then I wrote, but I love that Maria wants to be more comedically gifted to outlaugh the friends he's made. And it's so true. It's like, what a thing. I'm not making you laugh as much as they do. Okay, well, get it better. Get your fucking tight five a little tighter. And then I wrote, I was never that cute. I was never that cutely dressed or put together.
In real life?
Yeah, I said, and then I wrote, I was a baby man, compared to how I would how I would dress compared to Maria.
Just one of those baby hands.
Exactly. And I did not have it that together. She was very cute the way she looked.
But yeah, so this one, again, this is the joys and maybe your guys' frustrations of us going out of order.
I know. Well, by the way, my next note says, this mom, where did she come from? What the hell? I just can't get past the mom throughout this episode. I don't know what to say. She really just feels like an absent mother.
Yeah, and I'm just they're in Utah in the beginning. What are they doing in Utah? What are we doing? Yeah, what is this season's... what do we...
I guess we'll find out the more we watch. We really
guess.
don't
this one
do
just
a lot
feels
of...
it feels a little bit like a filler, or just kind of a one-up. I know it deals with the whole Utah fallout and robbing the store and dealing with relationships, which I think is always good. Checking on them. Some are fun, some are heartbreaking. Bring Alex back.
Yeah.
All good ideas, but this one just... I don't know.
That's what's interesting is I feel, it's just such a tough balance that these people had to strike, right? Because you go, okay, we don't want to be so alien. We just had to watch this fucking purple squid come out of his chest, and then you do the next. So it's just how to find that.
I feel like I don't want to bitch and moan about you said it was too sci-fi, and now you get one that's not sci-fi, and now you're bitching too.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up then. But
well, I think that was everyone's frustration, though, fans included.
Yeah, I just want to know where we're taking off. We should, if we'll see what our next one is after this, but we should get busted. So where does season 3? Yeah. Oh my. Where does season 3 take? Where are we going? What is the art? Where is the outline of this? What is this thing? I don't see it happening. And this is only the 3rd episode in, and that's what's a little worrisome for me.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That 3 episodes in, I don't see where the season is going.
Right.
That's all. But I do know Do you have any other notes?
I wrote the thing about the car accident and John Doe's character, Mr. Parker. Why can't I remember his
should
name?
be in prison. That's vehicular manslaughter.
I don't know about that. He was a teenager,
I
and
guess.
whatever. But she took that information, Liz, like a total teenager. It was like, like barely. Did not have the gravitas that like an adult would take that. And then I wrote, "You're the poem, Liz." First of all, I spelled poem POWEM, so wellness check.
Wow.
And then it says, I was typing, and then I said, I've never felt less of a father-daughter connection.
Oh, I was total opposite. When he said that, I have in my voice notes, I have a simple line.
Beautifully said.
Yeah. Well delivered, and I loved it. It was just this he was at his wit's end of sorts. He didn't know how to explain it any better, and there's just this not giving up, but it was an easier way to explain, I think, what he was going through. Like, it encapsulated a lot, and I really liked it. I thought it was a great line delivery. I thought it was powerful.
Beautifully said, very powerful, very true. I knew it was coming in the sense where I was like, oh, that's so funny that she wants to read his poems. Let's hear how we're going to represent what it feels like to be a parent, where it's like, well, you're like the poem, So that was great. I was like, oh, that was very satisfying. But he was acting with a wall, and it's because she's a teenager. Sometimes they just don't care. That's going to hit her later. But I wrote, looks are so huge. I wasn't paying attention, just looking at how pretty Isabel is. And then I wrote, whoa, Jesse's proposing. I was just like in a fugue state, looking at Katie's face, being like, God, what a person. And then I was like, oh, this man is proposing. And then it really made me realize like how unstable this relationship was. I missed the bridge to how we ended up proposing because he had just said, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and then walked out, and then it was a lot of back and forth in a very
Guys
little
playing
amount of
the
time.
game, yeah.
But I did have, there's the typical when Katie finds out that it's the mother's ring and not her wedding ring. There is the very typical, like, so embarrassed, like, oh my, type thing, and
please do that again. Do it again.
Oh my.
Ham.
And and she laughed it off. Like, she actually, even though so obviously it's going to be embarrassing. It's a miscommunication, and it's a very big one, thinking someone's going to ask you to marry them, and they had no intention of doing it.
Mortifying.
Mortifying. That's the word I was looking for. They played it mortifying. Jeez. The typical is to play it mortified. But she made this really great decision of being mortified, but having that
relief,
having that but laughing it off,
right.
Laughing it off in this really cute kind of fun way. And I just thought it was a really great choice, because I think the typical one again is being truly mortified, which she was, but
yeah, I'm glad she made the choices she made and not the ones you're making. I did write this is a portal to rom-com. A portal to a rom-com opens in the end of this episode. It's like the portal to Katie becoming a rom-com queen that she did become. It's like it's just so nice.
27
to
dresses and.
Yes. We don't need to give her body of work if you don't know what planet have you been living on. But like, no one knew that necessarily, right?
Right.
And they gave her this whole run of getting to do all the sort of rom-com-y things of like bumping into the waiter, leaving, like, I'm so sorry, leaving, and then the heels breaking, and it was like literally felt like this whole new timeline opened. And then I wrote, Jesus, Jessie walks so slowly, because she somehow finds him right away. And then I said, and then that is how this show turned Isabel into an old lady.
Mm-hmm.
That was for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Oh,
know.
and then I wrote, kissing in public. How do we feel about that? You know, I'm always so fascinated with how men, I know it's hard to be like, every man has the same opinion about it, but like, are guys kind of allergic to kissing in public or affection in public?
When I was younger, I probably would be. I don't think now I would
Feels
be.
like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
I'll grab him.
Obviously, you know, whatever. If it's like too much, if you're going to get arrested. But like, I don't know, just like hand holding, whatever. What's it called? What's it called?
PDA. Public displays of affection.
PTA?
Yeah, it was kind of a meh episode. I mean, I liked it. I liked it. And again, I'm or not jealous. I might be biased, but I liked, well enough the double booking story.
Me too. I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I thought that was fun. The Liz Max, them being apart, and just the way they're, it was good, right? And then with John Doe at the end, like that was all right. And the Katie stuff and the Alex stuff, the only reason I'm going to put that lower kind of down the rung, is just because it could have been so much better. Like, you have Alex Whitman back, do something more uplifting. Like, it was so down the whole time. Like, it wasn't fun, and it could have been heartbreaking and fun all at the same time. And it just,
well,
I think I just had that was the A story, and I was looking for it to have a way bigger impact on me,
right,
watching it. And I don't know.
Well, if it's any consolation, right at the end, Louis probably caught like 4 minutes of the entire episode. And at the end, Louis was walking by, having left for a while, and he goes, "Let me guess, he's going to disappear." And then Alex disappeared.
Yes, I have that. I said, how, in my voice notes, I went, how is Alex going to disappear? Pixelation? Instant, you know what I mean? Because I was like, what are we doing? And it was just the old...
He turns into the fucking octopus.
Exactly. Yeah, it was just the old... And I was like, I don't know. I was kind of bummed, because he's such a talent and he can offer so much more. And it didn't feel like it was there in this one.
Yeah, very strange. But then again, we are not going in order. So a lot of the times we realize sort of proactively or retroactively, meaning that we are wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, I can introduce the guest based on talent and having an energy and enthusiasm about him. We got a good one. Oh, it's Adam Rodriguez. Fuck. Adam Rodriguez. Oh, there he is.
Adam, hi.
Oh, there he is.
Look at that mug.
What's up, guys? Good to see your faces.
How's it going? Wait, where are you, Adam? Are you home? Or are you in?
I'm in the basement
Nice.
at home.
I see the weights behind you.
Yeah,
racks.
it's like the only quiet spot in the house.
Brendan is in the same situation. To his right, he has like gym equipment.
Gotta do it. You gotta do it. You know?
Wait, is that the right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I see something. I see the arm of.
There it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
rack.
There's a rack. There's an
the old
attempt to
screen
hide
for
it.
the auditions that you never land. You know what?
Yeah, no shit, man. Tell me about it. Man, I hate not auditioning in person. It's the worst.
Oh, really?
It's nice. Well, a lot of people love it because you get to do a million takes until you feel good about it, and that part about it, I like that, but I don't know. It's just something about going into a room and the nerves that you get. It's just a different.
Totally.
I like it. I like it a little better.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
also
I
just
don't like I would
invigorates-
rather go in person than Zoom.
Right.
Oh, 100%.
Zoom's a nightmare.
No, I hate
Nightmare.
this room. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I actually vowed. I've only done it. The one time I can only remember that I did it, I was like, I won't do this again. So like, if I can't do it, then I'm just not going to bother, because it was probably the worst audition experience of my life. Like I hated it. I hated it.
You don't know where to look. And then
No, you have no idea
where you got to pin, and then the whole thing's just, you're even more like, that stiff, like, what do I do with my hands type mentality.
completely.
than
No, you
anything
feel
else.
completely handcuffed. There's no way to make a connection. You're like, you're reading with somebody that's like off screen, but the director's in your face at the same time. Like it's not a pleasurable experience. Not for me. I mean,
I will say though, you can put your lines behind,
Yeah,
or put them
that
up on the screen. I always do like put them, you know what I mean? So I'm like kind of reading, but I'm looking.
Right,
That's
but
the
I've
silver
done
lining.
tests. Like I'll do a test on a Zoom. Like I'll record it and go like, okay, where's my eye line? Like even if it's not them, when I record it and watch it back, where should I be looking according to where this camera is? And it all looks stupid. Like it doesn't. I'm just like, because you're a little high, a little low. It looks like you're looking at a midget or Wemby or something. Like the whole thing's a fucking nightmare.
No. I mean, and then you just feel so stupid that there's no way you could be giving your best, because you're just like, I don't know, you're just in your head in a way that I'm too conditioned from the old process to like make the switch, and that's probably a problem for a lot of things in my life. But this old dog is not keeping up with that new tech very well.
It's like green screen acting or something. Like no one's good at, it's very unnatural.
It
Well, at
doesn't
least
feel
you can
like
talk
acting.
to
Is the
someone in
problem.
person in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Right. It takes a lot of an imagination to make these Zoom auditions work. What a nightmare.
The horror.
I know.
Brendan, how old are your kids now, man? I know your girls got to be.
Yeah, there's it'll be 17, 14, and 12.
Isn't that crazy, Adam?
She got one more year of high school, and then she'll be out somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're there.
And all good still.
Yeah.
Like no. It's just so funny, people's reaction. They're just like, oh, that's three girls.
It's so weird.
It's like,
strange.
periods and
Wow, that's so
hormones,
weird.
and
Yeah.
they're probably, bitchy and this and that. And
Like,
you're
what?
just going, but no. Like, they're fine. They're good. They're good.
So fascinating that people do that.
Well, I feel like people say that because they want to commiserate on some level, and they're hoping you can do that. But when you can't, you're like, no, different experience.
And then they can't help themselves, and they'll go, just wait.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's always
And you're
just
like,
wait.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
listen, I always.
Maybe, for sure.
Exactly. That's exactly my reaction. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to say no. I just maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
everyone, it's life. You're going to go
Anything's
through
possible.
shit.
Right.
Far so good though. Yeah, I have the utmost confidence we'll get through it just fine. But maybe,
Yeah.
I mean,
How old are yours?
Yeah, sorry, Adam.
How old are yours? You got three
mine
now?
are. I've got two girls and a boy, and the girls are 11, or about to be 11 in April, and then 8, and the boy is going to be 5 in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So
that's about that's the same kind of
similar spread. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar spread. And then on the third time around, I was like, yeah, if we get another girl, great. And I had no qualms about it. Like some people are like, oh, you're trying for that boy. And I'm like, I will say this, after having the boy, I love having the boy because he adds a different energy to the house that makes it kind of fun. And the girls love it, and so he was, he really mixed it up in a great way. Like in that part, I really do enjoy. But my life wasn't hinged upon having a boy. I wasn't really,
that was the same thing with my third when they're like, oh, I bet you're wishing for that boy. And I was thinking, I was more practical about it, where I was just like, no, that boy will fuck everything up. It's going to change the dynamic. We have no clothes for him. We can't do any hand-me-downs.
We can't recycle on that.
Exactly. I mean, the rooms are already pink. I don't want to repaint this. I was like,
I love it. We've done, we have recycled all the way down. I mean, even stuff that's like, whatever, unisex.
Yeah.
We have made use of everything.
Nice.
I love it, man. It's been great. I mean, that was always my dream, really. Being a dad and a husband was really that was the real dream for me. I mean, I love what we get to do for a living, and I look forward to going to work every day. I've got to go, mostly, except on those really early wake ups. It's the best. It's the most fulfilling work that I could have ever imagined doing. It's just being a parent. It's just, it's the hardest and the best, and then at the same time, in some ways, the easiest, because you just know, there's no question about whether or not you're going to do it. You're going to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. It's not one of those things like, should I write this script? Do I waffle? Am I going to clean this
Should
up
I
today?
Leave the family?
Yeah,
exactly.
Should I build that fence outside?
Yeah, exactly. Should I start a second family?
No, 100%, Brendan. And there's freedom in that. There's a liberation that comes with that, because when you're so clear about what your driving force is, it's there is nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that you're going to let stop you, because it has to get done. It just has to.
Yeah, that just you wait thing is so annoying. Oh,
I know.
Drives me crazy.
Well, speaking of, seeing you at your worst and, maybe not the best, we're going down this Roswell, all episodes of Roswell.
Now, Adam, were you able to watch the Significant Others episode?
No, that's what you sent me, because I never got a link.
Oh,
Did you send it back? Did you send it via text or email? I was looking for email.
Send it via text, but we didn't send a link because, there's no, you have to just have your own Hulu.
Okay, so remind me of the episode, because I did recently.
You are going to remember, because it's it's a doozy. First of all, the whole thing is a doozy. That season, just to see all of us, what a time. But it's the one where it's where Jesse is having a dream, and Isabel goes into the dream, and you both are in Paris.
We have crazy sex or something in the dream. I'm like, oh my God, what was that? Is that the?
It's, yeah, I mean,
You're
yes,
in Paris.
You're in Paris.
I mean, you don't see. Oh wait, we're in Paris.
Well, yeah, there's the Eiffel. Yeah, there's the Eiffel.
I don't remember this, guys. Do we have to wait?
And so basically that's like a dream. And then she realizes that you might be serious about, or, Jesse might be serious about getting married. And then essentially there's a misunderstanding. And it's when you guys decide to actually get married, which is wild, considering her age and everything.
Yeah.
She sees you buying a ring after this dream where you've proposed to her, but the ring's actually, you're getting it cleaned for your mom.
And your mom, by the way, your mom.
By the way, we never remember
none of this.
I was like, believe me,
what?
I don't even feel bad.
No,
what I feel bad about is not watching the episode, because I thought, you know what? I don't know what I thought. I didn't think is what happened. And when you said, oh, significant others, I just thought that was the title. That was sort of what you were going to title this episode, about us having this conversation. So I was like, oh, I guess we're going to all talk about our significant others. I wasn't even thinking about the title of an episode of Roswell, which was so silly. I should have. And
it's also,
we should have explained it more.
We should have explained it more, and better. But it also, we were like, there was an episode called Significant Others. That's how little we remember.
Yeah.
I remember nothing about what I watched. But it was just so trippy seeing you, Adam, and thinking about what that must have been like for you coming onto that set.
Oh
just the
God.
whole thing, playing a Harvard law graduate, but living in Roswell.
How did you get, do you remember how you got it, the audition process, and then what you were told and all that?
Yeah, I remember, let me recount how it actually got set off. Okay. So talking about this place I've been living in for almost 25 years, I bought this place that I'm living in on a whim. A friend of mine's mom sent me here. I was renting an apartment in North Hollywood at the time with two other guys, and we were each paying $300 a month in rent. And a friend of mine's mom sends me to a townhouse. I look at this place, and I didn't realize it's for sale. I had to get out of this other apartment. Shit wasn't good. I needed to go. And anyway, I end up in this house. I figure out a way to buy it. My best friend had just gotten drafted into the NFL.
Whoa.
I had some money from an Aaron Spelling show that I had done the year before called All Souls that we shot. I lived in Montreal for like the better part of a year shooting this show.
How many episodes of that did you do? Aaron Spelling, they had to have picked it up for at least...
No, that was the weird thing. And all like the auspices around the show were great. It was Aaron Spelling. It was a guy named Mark Frost who was one of the co-creators of Twin Peaks.
Oh.
The show was like set in this... the show didn't take place it took place in Boston.
Okay.
Although we shot it in Montreal, but it was in this hospital that had been used during the Civil War, and it was haunted basically. Oh. And there was this supernatural element to things that were going on in the hospital, and it was a really cool show. It was actually It was a really cool show that came along a little bit ahead of its time, and we were on the wrong network.
Right.
What network?
For its time. We were on UPN, and it wasn't really... it just wasn't in line with a lot of the other
that was the wrong network for every show ever on that episode.
Yeah, I mean, so the show, I'm trying to remember how many we did. We did either... I'd have to look it up on IMDb, but we did somewhere between like 9 or 10 episodes, maybe
okay, interesting,
something like that. And the show aired, and it got canceled like 3 weeks after it aired. And that happened to be about 3 weeks after I moved into this place, and I only had 2 months left of the mortgage in the bank after I got through like all the deal of like, closing and all the things that it took. And I'm like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I'm scrambling to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. And my manager calls me. He says, there's a thing for this show called Roswell. I've gotten you an audition. And I go in and, and I read for it. And it comes down to me and somebody else. And I met with Jason Katims, and we had a great meeting in his office, spoke for a while, really felt like we got on well. And that was what I remember about getting the job.
Right.
Was that whole thing.
But you just went in and met, or was it just like a general meeting?
I can't remember if I read for the casting director first, very likely that I did,
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you remember even talking to Katims, because usually I'm like in such a blackout if I have to read,
Yes.
That.
Oh, and I think that part, I don't think I read with him. I think I had read already, and then this was like a follow-up producer meeting to like, for him to maybe make his final decision between me and whoever else was up for the job. And
he was probably trying to make sure you weren't like an asshole obsessed with your hair or like whatever it is that we were putting him through.
Oh, what are you guys talking about? You guys were angels.
He's like, I'm not going to make this mistake twice. Let me vet this guy.
You did 6 episodes. You were Patrick Furtado.
Yes.
Furtado.
Okay, it was only 6 episodes. So we only shot 6 episodes of that show. That's crazy. But yeah, it didn't make it.
I was so up my own ass right at the time, of course. But I do remember I just remember so well you showing up and just having this like great energy in the hair and makeup trailer. And I was like, what a breath of fresh air.
What a nice guy. What's he doing here?
What's going on here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's 3rd season, right? And we're all...
Yeah. No, you guys were totally in a groove already. You had dynamics were set up. You guys were already, and this was a time, and it's so hard to explain this to people, right? Because even now, like, we're so grateful now to have work. We appreciate work in a way that you just don't when you're that age. It's just very hard to be that aware of how difficult it is to get work in this business when you're 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. Like it's just like, you kind of take it for granted, as shitty as that is, but you're just like, of course I'm working. Like, I'm the shit. Like, why aren't? Of course I'm supposed to be elsewhere. This is like a pit stop along the way, and I'm on my way to bigger and better things. Whatever we're thinking in our heads, and like, you can step on a set, and especially on a show that's had success and has been running, and you guys, like I said, you had your friend dynamics, you had your work dynamics, and it can be an intimidating place to show up, and you guys were all great. I mean, everybody was sweet, starting with Kadams. I mean, I remember Kadams being so sweet, and once the show got underway, I don't remember seeing him much, but I'll never forget that meeting, walking out of there oh, this guy's great, man. I really like this guy. And it felt that way when I got to set. I mean,
oh, good. Thank God.
I mean, I know how unhappy you guys were in certain things, and then you had relationship dynamics, with significant others going on. That was made things a little tricky, I'm sure. But
honestly, I think it's the best thing that, at least for me personally, by this season, Adam, the show was so different from what it was supposed to be like.
Yeah. What were the changes? Because you guys moved networks too, right? Didn't you?
Yeah. Now, you came on when we were on UPN.
There you go. Okay, so maybe that was part of the connection of how I ended up in the mix for the whole thing.
Yeah. It could have been. Well, and speaking of energy, you brought, the for lack of a better term, that New York East Coast, energy, which on our set that we didn't have. And then, and I don't exactly remember your first day on set, but I remember early on, Majandra had these great Halloween parties.
Yes, I remember that. That was a great party. I remember that party.
But I remember you had, so I wasn't paying that much attention. I don't really remember when you came in. Obviously, your story was with Katie as well, more so than everybody else. But,
which is so crazy, Adam.
Yeah, we have to address.
We were kind of isolated in that storyline because she was having this full-on adult married life storyline.
Yes.
Which is just,
listen, which I realize it does happen. People get married young sometimes, and Jesse was supposed to be a couple of years older than her, I guess, and so it was.
Well, you're a lawyer from Harvard. You're at least, I don't know. Had to be
at least 26, I would think, 25, if I'd graduated from law school at that point.
And that's some small town stuff to get married young. I think that's more normal than we think, but it is so funny looking back.
And it worked.
I was going to say, we're talking about directors. I remember having only the second time that I ever had a director yell at me. And the first time I understood it, this time I didn't actually. A quick story. The first time was when I was an extra. I was doing background work in New York before I moved to LA. So I was about 19, 20. I was working on Copland.
Oh, yeah.
And as a background actor. And I was in a scene, it was a big scene on the Martha Washington Bridge, which is the tier right under the George Washington Bridge that connects Manhattan and Jersey.
Martha's always under George.
Yeah.
Get out of there, Martha.
That's the correct missionary, So we're doing this scene. It's this big scene where Michael Rappaport's character jumps off the bridge, and Harvey Keitel starts going "Oh my God, he jumped off the bridge!" If you ever watch the movie, it's a great movie actually. And
that's with Stallone, right?
Stallone is the lead. Yeah, Stallone, and Robert Patrick. Ray,
and he
Liotta.
plays a character you've never, Stallone's never played, that pudgy cop.
Great.
Yeah, it's great.
Great role. It's a great movie. It's really well done. And the director's a guy named James Mangold that just directed this Bob Dylan thing. So I'm going for it, right? So I'm young. I'm there playing a uniform cop, and if you can catch me in that scene, if you pause at the right moment, you'll see me. I've got glasses on, and anyway, Keitel is going "Oh my God, he jumped off the bridge," and I decide to start ad-libbing with him. I go, "What happened? What happened?" And he's like, he jumped off the bridge, and I'm like, I'm going, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And this goes on for about 4 or 5 takes, right? Now that, mind you, this is a massive scene. There are 200 people in this scene because it's just that, there's so much going on. There's an ambulance, there's this thing going on, and the camera's moving through all of it. So, in all fairness to the director, he's dealing with a lot, right? And then meanwhile, he comes in to make some adjustments to the scene after about 4 or 5 takes, gives somebody some notes, he comes over to the area that I'm in, and he's like, "All right, who is over here next to Harvey? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking after the first 2 times I do this, like, they must love it. No one's saying anything. I'm like, they're letting me do this. Harvey's going with it. I'm like, I'm inside, my heart's pounding because I'm like, I'm fucking acting with Harvey Keitel. This is amazing. He comes over. He's like, who's standing next to Harvey? Now, proudly, I raise my hand because I'm thinking he's going to go, good. I love what you're doing. Keep that up or whatever in my mind. He goes, get the fuck out of the way. You're in his fucking light. And he fucking screams at the top of it. He goes insane, right? In front of 200 people, embarrasses me. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
That is the most horrifying experience.
I mean, it was so funny after the fact. I was like, well, whatever. I tried. I was like, I tried.
Yeah, but it's funny that because, if you're Harvey Keitel at that point and it's not in the script and he knows you're an extra.
Yeah. 100%.
Where he would be like, after the first one, be like, yeah, you can't, dude, kid.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Well, in my mind, that's
but he clearly thought it was okay because I don't think he's a wilting flower where he's going to go like, I can't hurt this kid's feelings. I got to let him go.
No, he would have been like, you're not supposed to talk to me. Just be quiet. I don't. But it was giving him something to play off, and he was going with it. So it was like, anyway,
you're helping him.
Hilarious. That's the one time I got yelled. The second time I got yelled at by a director was on the set of Roswell. And the director's name was Patrick. I don't know what the deal was. And I've always heard nice things from you guys about him. So, I mean, I don't hold any grudges.
Of course not.
I'm dying to know because he
I would love to know. I doubt he'll remember, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he was going through some things at the time or maybe he was upset at somebody else. But I remember, I remember being angry about it, but also like, I remember being like my feelings were hurt because I was like, what was that about? Like, why this guy's coming at me? Like, so yeah, anyway, I'm glad that he's doing well. And I don't, like I said, this is zero grudges. It was just like, those are the 2 times I've ever happened to be on Roswell and on Copland.
Yeah, to be chastised like that, that's a very, not a great feeling.
So going back though to you being, having arrived, Majandra has these Halloween parties and you're relatively new. And I haven't paid a lot of attention to you at all. I don't think you're stuck in that whole Katie thing doing whatever it is.
Yeah, we don't cross paths that much.
No. And you come in.
I know the costume. Yeah, I remember.
To the party. What were you thinking?
What do you mean?
I just thought like
it was a great costume.
So crazy.
So nobody really.
I was wearing a thing that said twat. Like,
I think people don't think of me as somebody with a sense of humor for some reason. And like, I'd love to do shit that is going to make people laugh or at least like, and I'm like, what could I do that would be funny and like maybe a little scary for me to wear? Like, cause I love feeling butterflies. So I'm like, what would be like a costume that would, and I just like, and also like being a person that's just practical. I'm like, what do I have in my closet that I'm going to wear for Halloween? Cause I'm also not the type of person that's going to go out and get elaborate with, the details on that. And so, I was like, man, I had that hat. Like, I think I had this green bucket hat and, some sunglasses and a raincoat that I never in a million years like ever wear. But when I bought it, I was like, oh, that's cool. One day I'll wear that raincoat. That was the only time I've ever worn it was probably for that. And I wore that raincoat and then I was just like, had a pair of underwear and I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny to be a flasher. And then I'm like, but it needs something else. And I had these 2 bath bombs, like those balls that you put in a bathtub. And I remember like I put maybe some cellophane around that and then like added like, I don't know what I had to make like a giant penis out of, but like I put like a something in my pants that.
Yeah. And they were like tighty whities.
Yeah. They were like boxer briefs, I think. Like boxer briefs.
But what's great too is like if you chicken out last minute, like you just don't have to open the trench coat. Like it really is a great costume.
But I remember like, seeing you walk in and then you flash, people or crowd for the first time. And I was just like,
making it sound so bad.
This guy's fucking unhinged. Like,
you thought that? That's so funny.
Legit, like in a good way, just going, I don't have this in me.
Yeah.
Or would not have expected that from him. Like,
Exactly.
Straight lawyer guy with the suit and tie at work. Like that does not seem like the same character.
It was the most natural thing to me on the planet. I guess this is just like the Miamian in me. Yeah, where I was like, amazing, great. Can't believe I didn't think of that. Like,
yeah, no, I loved it, but I just, it was one of those that it stuck out. I mean,
I have pictures of that somewhere that I saw. Not that, I don't know. In the last couple of years, I came across some pictures. I was like, oh shit, this.
Adam, I found pictures too of that
No
party.
way, you have pictures?
Yes, I'll send them to you. It's so good. I was like, oh, that's right. It was so fun to
Please
see.
send me those pictures. We were kids. I would love to see those pictures.
It's so good.
God, this is really sweet because you guys were a thing. You guys had so much time. Look, when you're that age and you're all of a sudden on a show that takes off, and you guys are having this moment.
It's funny because we always felt like our show didn't take off. Because every time we would get canceled every time, and then
was that the ride? Like the first 2 years, it almost got canceled each time. Oh, I knew that actually because I remember the story about the hot sauce.
Exactly.
Was that the second season when they were sending?
It's both.
It was both.
Yeah,
seasons,
I think the first one was obviously the big one where no one hadn't really happened before.
Yes. The fan involvement of like mailing things.
Yeah, it was kind of the first fandom. Obviously there was other fandoms, but kind of this more of a connection in terms of actually being proactive about it.
And they took an ad out in Variety with like a hand print that said like, "We believe," which is just so wild to say, please pick it up. So that was kind of the first time that people had made a material effort like that. But yeah, it was always like on the bubble, Adam. It always sucked because it was like, are we going to be back? Are we not?
And I think that we had a chip on our shoulders because of that. And so that's going to guest stars coming on and everything else because we felt like we just weren't respected. And so you have that little chip on your shoulder of being like, well, then...
And they do that thing where they're like, well, we'll pick you up, but... And they'd have all these things that they'd make Kadam's change. And it was just so wild. Yeah, but what are you going to do? It was a different time.
I mean, look, the fandom is like, they were for real about it. Because I swear, I took my son to opening day for baseball, Little League yesterday. And random dude popped up. Guy's probably had to be late 30s, early 40s. And he was like, loved you in Roswell, man. And I was like, wow. I was like, I love when I get that. I was like, because then you've been around for a long time. And he was like, yeah, I love that show. And it still comes up, is what I'm saying. Like it's not rare. Like it actually gets brought up.
That's
Probably not as often as like CSI Miami or something because
because you've done over 200 episodes of CSI Miami. Which was the number one show on the planet for. Yeah,
that had a hell of a run, man.
Thank you, Adam, so much for doing this.
So great to see you. I mean, we didn't even talk about Night Shift, Brendan. Brendan and I have done 3 shows, going to include, Night Shift was...
Yeah, and then, you came on for that for 6 episodes or something like that.
Yeah,
which was funny. So, we kind of followed each other around on each other's shows. So, yeah. How did you get that? Did you just audition for that, or where'd that come out of?
Night Shift happened... So I know Freddie is a close friend. I see, I can't say I haven't seen him often actually, but we've been friends for 20 plus years, and he was doing that show. And then my manager knows Gabe Sachs well, and I think he was having a conversation with Gabe about something. Gabe said, "Oh, we're doing this character." Gabe was like, "Well, and then they started talking, and Gabe was like, "Oh, would I?" It was I think it was one of those things. They got into a conversation, and Gabe was like, "Oh, there's this character that I think, he'd be great," and it worked out like that. That character ended up. I don't think I had to audition. I think that was like one of those wonderful times when something came together like that because of a relationship. Like one of the few that was a fun works out like that. That was just a fun gig, man. That was
a fun set. I love those people.
And I liked New Mexico. I mean, it was cool. Are you still out there?
Yeah. I stayed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I dig it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
man, great seeing you guys.
So good to see you. Thanks for doing this, man.
Oh, totally. My pleasure.
The X-Files with Majandra Delfino
and Brendan Fair is a production of Portholes Inc. Media.
Edited and mixed by Stephen Wells.
The music by Fred Corey.